And we have Longview native Lee Livesay joining us here. Lee, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about y'all?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Not as good as you are, though. You finished fourth over this past weekend in the Bassmaster. That's your 15th top 10 of your career on Lake Murray. So I want to ask you about the fishing there. You hauled in 20 fish over the 4-day event, total weight of 76 pounds, 13 ounces. You trailed first place by just under 18 pounds. But what was the fishing like on Lake Murray this past weekend?
It was actually really good. Lake Murray's really healthy. It's a great lake. It reminds me a lot of Lake Fork here in East Texas. Just the style that it fishes. It's full of big bass, and it's really healthy right now.
When you were out on that lake, what was the weather like? Did the weather make for kind of a weird weekend? Because I know we've had some crazy weather here in East Texas. So what was the weather like out in South Carolina?
Yeah, we actually had our first day canceled, or it was postponed until Monday, because of tornadoes, the same stuff that y'all got here. So it was up and down. We had 90-degree days and hot sun, no wind, and we had tornadoes and tons of rain too. It was a little bit of everything.
Well, I want to get your experience and your professional opinion here with all the weather that we've had here in East Texas for anglers that may want to go out on the lake, whether it be Lake Fork, Lake Palestine, whatever lake they want to go fish on. What would be your advice for anglers trying to go out and fish now, especially with how high most of the lake levels are?
Usually, the high water's good in East Texas. You have every lake's a little bit different. Like Lake Fork, it doesn't go up and down a lot. And then compared to Lake of the Pines right down the road, it's
Hold on, Lee. I think you froze on us, Lee.
Yep, looks like we might have a little bit of a frozen screen here. Just
all right.
1 second.
It's all right, Lee.
it is cover
Oh,
to ambush the prey.
there
Oh,
he is. Okay,
Lee.
let's take it from the top of that question.
Yeah, Lee, I'm sure that was an excellent answer. I'm gonna need you to do it all over again because you were frozen on the screen the entire time when we couldn't hear you. So I'm sorry, but yeah, you were talking about how the fuller the lake is, that it may be actually a little easier for anglers.
Yeah, all the rain we've had around here can actually help the fishing. Bass are ambush predators. They love to go to bushes and grass, anything that floods, and it can make the fishing really good.
And so, what's next for you now? I know you just finished your competition on Lake Murray. What's next up for you down the road?
Our next two events are actually in Alabama. One on Wheeler Lake on the Tennessee River, and then one on Smith Mountain or Lewis Smith Lake in the mountains in Alabama. And then from there, we'll go to New York, to Champlain and the St. Lawrence River. So those are the next four events, two in Alabama, two in New York.
All right, and I know since you're an East Texas native, I want you to exclude the East Texas lakes. But out of all the lakes that you've been able to fish on, do you have a favorite lake or maybe a most beautiful lake, like a nice scenery?
So Lake Murray, where I just left, is definitely one of my top picks, but for sure, my favorite lake is Lake Champlain in upper state New York on the New York-Vermont border. It's beautiful. It's full of fish that are kind of dumb. They're easy to catch. They're big, largemouth and smallmouth. That's my favorite lake in the world is Lake Champlain in New York.
Okay, fantastic. Well, if I'm ever in the New York, Vermont area, I know the lake I need to go to then. I appreciate it. Well, Lee, we're happy for you. Congratulations on your finish this past weekend. Best of luck down the road. We hope to talk to you later on.
All right. Thank you all.
All right. That's Lee Livesay here, the Longview native, joining us here on